Everybody, we will call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first agenda item is the roll call. Identify that all are here. Is there anyone who needs to denote a conflict of interest? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to 2.3, review and approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
Okay, motion by Moulton. Question, comments? We need a second. Yep, thank you, Ms. Lork, for the second. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 2.4, approved minutes of the November 10th meeting. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for November.
Okay, motion by Lore,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 2.5, the financial reports for November of 25.
Thank you. For the month of November, the general fund received $4.38 million in property taxes, representing the final major collection of 2024 taxes payable in 2025. Expenditures remain moderate, and the ending cash balance of $7.6 million is aligned with budget expectations. In the capital outlay fund, revenue totaled $2.88 million, primarily driven by property taxes. A planned debt service payment was made for the middle school, and the ending cash balance of $2.55 million is slightly below last year but consistent with budgeted capital and debt obligations. The special education fund received November property taxes and adjusted state aid of $132,000. The ending cash balance of $3.56 million continues a positive upward trend in cash position compared to recent years. Lake Area Technical College reported revenue of $312,000 from tuition fees and state support. Expenditures included $104,000 in construction tied to an insurance claim and equipment purchases, with the ending fund balance of $5.08 million. LATC Bookstore reported higher inventory purchases offset by healthy sales, resulting in improved cash balance of $993,000. LATC Food Service ended with a slight operational deficit. However, it is reported at $331,000 cash balance remains solid and supportive of ongoing initiatives. LATC Educare continued its positive financial trend, with revenue outpacing expenditures and raising the fund's ending cash balance to $476,000. Within the Employee Benefit Trust, premium revenue exceeded administrative costs and claims for the month. The cash balance was declined from prior years, but stop-loss protections will help offset high-cost claimants during the final quarter of the plan year. The K-12 Nutrition Fund saw revenues exceed expenditures through steady meal payments and inventory management. While the cash balance of $152,000 is lower than in past years, it remains sufficient to support the continued nutrition operations. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions?
Anything of concern stick out?
No, currently everything, all of the fund operations kind of match up with what we have budgeted for and anticipated.
We have a budget update later in the meeting. Is that tonight?
Yep, that's the supplemental budget that we'll cover.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move to 2.6, student and staff recognitions.
Yes, I do have one student recognition tonight, and I know she was unable to attend due to a practice going on. But on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving break, Malia Kranz, a senior at WHS, was joined by Senator Mike Rounds to announce that she received a nomination to the U.S. Air Force Academy. So I'll just for the public and for the board, I will just give you a little info on that. But this is from the press release from Senator Rounds. U.S. Senator Rounds today announced that Malia Kranz, a senior at Watertown High School, has received a principal nomination to the U.S. Air Force Academy. Malia is the daughter of Raymond and Julianne Cruz. She's a two-time state champion track and field athlete and plays on the varsity basketball team. Malia also serves as an Arrow ambassador and on the Watertown High School Student Council. She also volunteers as a mentor at Watertown Intermediate School, as a kindness lesson leader for elementary students, and as a recess monitor at Millette Elementary. Malia is a member of the National Honor Society and currently holds a 4.0 GPA. Congratulations to Malia on receiving a principal nomination to the U.S. Air Force Academy, said Rounds. Malia is committed to serving our country in the United States Air Force after receiving a top-notch education at Colorado Springs. She's worked hard to get to this point, and we know she will excel at the Air Force Academy. I wish Malia all the best as she finishes out her senior year and continues to prepare for the next 4 years. So congratulations to Malia Kranz.
Yes. That's just very impressive, because she has excelled in multiple sports and in the classroom, and hats off.
Yeah, it was a good day the day it happened. Unfortunately, the weather kind of prevented Senator Rounds from joining in person, but he actually phoned into her honors English class, and so the whole class got to be a part of the celebration, as well as some of her family. So it was a good day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, let's move on to item number 3.1, public input on agenda or non-agenda items for LATC. Okay, hearing none, we will go to the scholarship update and ask Vice President Cam Corey to update us.
Excellent. Good evening. Cam Corey, Vice President, Lake Area Tech. And we are very pleased to announce that our foundation is offering scholarships to eligible students taking dual credit through Lake Area Tech. If students receive free or reduced school lunches and are obtaining or taking dual credit courses through Lake Area Tech, their school counselor should give them a code, and they will be able to apply for these scholarships. And these scholarships can be half credit or half paid or full scholarship for the dual credit. And so we're really excited to be able to offer that, and a lot of credit goes to President Sanderson and our foundation. Once the legislature increased the dual credit amounts, they went to work to make sure that dual credit stays affordable for students attending Lake Area Tech. So we're really excited to be able to offer that. That is open right now, and it closes on December 31st. So if there's any students that are eligible and interested in taking these courses, they should contact their counselor. The other thing to announce that our Build Dakota Scholarship application will open on January 1st and will remain open until March 31st. So they can apply through lakeareatech.awardspring.com. They have to be already enrolled at Lake Area Tech to be eligible for that. But that is open from January 1st until March 31st. Following up on that, on January 15th, we will be hosting our Ready, Set, Go Build Dakota event. That is when students, high school juniors and seniors, and non-traditional students can come to Lake Area Tech to find a match for their business sponsor. It's a great event, and they'll be able to get interview potential employers to find that Build Dakota match. So that will be on January 15th. Registration is required to participate in that, and they can register at our website.
Impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good service. Okay, any other questions or comments about the scholarship update? Okay, we will move to item 4.1, and that is LATC personnel. 4.11 are the resignations.
We have one resignation for your consideration this evening, and I am seeking the board's approval as presented.
Okay, entertain a motion for this action.
Move that we approve the one resignation as listed.
Okay, motion by Rossman,
Second?
second by Rem. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Let's go to 4.1.2, contract recommendations and addendums.
The next item includes 2 full-time staff as well as a variety of contracts to include adjuncts and more temporary snow removal for your consideration, and we do recommend approval as presented.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve these contracts.
I move to approve these contracts and recommendations as presented.
Okay, motion by Rammel.
Second.
Second by Rossman. Questions, comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, that takes us to 4.2 property items. 4.2.1 is an office lease agreement. Go ahead.
The first item for your consideration is the office lease agreement at Southeast Technical College in Sioux Falls. This would be for our Manufacturing and Technology Solutions Center staff, MTS, and this would be for the calendar year 2026. This lease is for 2 office spaces and access to conference rooms and training areas. The lease amount is for $15,000 for the year. This is identical to 2025's lease. This is just for 2026. And this is provided through an MTS grant through NIST. And MTS, if you're unfamiliar with that, they are based out of Lake Area Tech, but they provide consulting and training to small and mid-sized manufacturing companies throughout South Dakota. And we do recommend your approval of this lease at Southeast Tech.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve this lease agreement.
I move we approve the lease agreement as presented and explained.
Okay,
Second.
motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lohr. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 4.2.2, authority to purchase.
The second item for your consideration is the authority to purchase a CNC fiber laser cutting table, and this is in support of our welding program. We recommend the board accept the lowest bid that meets specifications from Productivity Incorporated in the amount of $142,495.75. This purchase is funded through FY26 Perkins funding and was budgeted at $225,000, so we're happy that it came in significantly lower than that, and we recommend your approval.
Entertain a motion to approve the purchase.
I move we approve the purchase of the laser cutting table as explained.
Motion by Lohr,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments? How often do you end up getting a bid that's significantly less than what's budgeted?
Not very often.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
also
and
quite a range of
this-
bids, this one too.
This
Yeah.
bid
Interesting.
process, they were from the 130s
Yeah.
up to 250 or some thousand, so there was a large range.
Okay. Well, that's very good.
Yeah.
Where is Productivity Incorporated?
I am not sure where they're located out of.
Okay.
Don't some of our other programs actually utilize them for equipment? I was thinking,
Not
you
sure.
said the other day machining and
Well, precision machining
uses
may.
productivity.
They
Yeah.
may use that same company. They're in the same type of field, so.
So we've had, not necessarily in this program, but have had experience with them.
Okay. Okay, good. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 4.2.3, consider architectural services for the trade center and site improvements.
The third item we have for you this evening is consideration for architectural services for a proposed trades center and site improvements at Lake Area Tech. Lake Area Tech recommends entering into the architectural and engineering services agreement with Co-op Architecture for the design and engineering of a trade center in the amount of $61,250 and for campus edges and entrances in the amount of $23,500.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the architectural services.
I move we approve the architectural services as explained.
Motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Laura. Questions, comments?
Do you want to explain what's covered in the trade center?
So the trade center is, right now we're looking at right across the street where I think Alternative Ed is kind of located, a couple other buildings, and we have our master campus plan, which would bring in buildings and trades into there, and potentially a couple of other programs that we are looking at that I could share with you in executive session, but am not able to share with you this evening. But planning for that would be part of the trade center.
Very good, thanks.
You're welcome.
I would just note, if people are wondering, you know, on completion, it's in the document here, but construction would not start until April 2027 at the soonest. So
Sure.
if people hear about this and wonder, oh my gosh, you know, like for example, the folks who are currently in the PDC,
Yeah.
Sure.
it's
We're
still looking
Just
at,
exploring it.
you know, another 18 months or so
Right.
before any construction would start, so we'd still have at least another school year possible to.
Yeah, this allows the design to happen for us to determine the ultimate cost and what it would look like, and then seek how we'd pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a preliminary step in just getting our ducks in a row
That's correct.
if things
yes.
fall into place.
And I know the term isn't used in this case, but like has been used in other instances, the word shovel ready, in the event that there are some funds that are available. So for example, we have in policy like a naming rights. So a lot like on the Lake Area side, if a potential donor were to make a significant contribution that would be worthy of naming rights, you'd want to have a project that's ready to roll so you could capitalize on that opportunity. So
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, that sounds good. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 4.2.4, surplus welding equipment.
Our final item this evening for your consideration is surplus equipment in our welding program. This is for a vertical mill, and so we do recommend approval of the surplus property resolution declaring the vertical mill as surplus for sale.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve this sale.
I move to approve the surplus equipment.
Okay, motion by Laura,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments?
Is that one that'll go up for sale on the, I can't remember the
Purple
platform.
Wave?
Thank you. Yeah?
Yes, we
Okay.
do intend to put that up on Purple Wave.
Okay. If you keep coming with things like vertical mills, you're gonna have to start bringing audio visuals so that we know what in the heck we're
Yeah.
getting rid of here.
As long as I don't have to bring the machine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Curry.
you.
That brings us to 5.1, public input on agenda or non-agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience? Okay. 5.2, Northeast Technical High School report.
yes, big thing here in December is December 17th, 5:45, the December meeting of the Northeast Technical High School Board.
Okay. I think that takes us to 5.3, McKinley Early Childhood Center update.
Hi, good evening. Emily Hatton, McKinley Early Childhood Principal. Tonight I just want to share a little bit about McKinley. Thank you. and just some things that we have going on over there with this being our second year of the Early Childhood Center. So it's just always fun to hear an update of what's happening. Behind you, I have a presentation. Eventually there's going to be a little video that you're going to want to watch, but you should have the slides in front of you as well. So McKinley Early Childhood Center, being the second year, we got together as a staff and just tried to decide what our overarching goals are as the McKinley Early Childhood Center. And really our goals they're kind of broad, but it's to give every child the best that we can. So we want to create a safe and prideful community within our school. We want every child to feel successful, supported, and excited every day with the learning opportunities we're providing them. Our big goal is to strengthen our communication and collaboration with families as we're working with them and their students and their children. We support academics through learning and different experiences. And really a big one that we are focusing on having the smallest arrows in the district is just the social emotional foundation for our students that we're providing them. So McKinley Early Childhood Center is kind of focused around 5 different areas or programs and grades. You know, we're unique that we have just 2 classes per se, but we have preschool thrown in there as well. So we hold the district's birth to 3 services within our building. We have 3-year-old special education preschool. We have a regular preschool program. We have junior kindergarten and kindergarten. So what I would like to do is just share a little bit more about each one of those programs. So our birth to 3 and our 3-year-old preschool program kind of go hand in hand. They tend to students that are in our birth to 3 program often transition into our 3-year-old preschool program. So this is for special education students within Cottington County. We work with the state's birth to 3 coordinator to help identify those students and get them enrolled into our program at McKinley. Our goal really is to meet their individual needs with whether they be special education and just help them develop those skills so they're ready for school when they're of school age. We offer direct services at McKinley as well. So physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech and language therapy also takes place at McKinley for those students. Learning oftentimes takes place through play-based activities, and the photo that is accompanying that, if you look in the background, you can see the sweetest little girl pushing a stroller and another little guy working on vacuuming, and really the goal of that is to focus on the gross motor that comes along with it, but it's a lot more fun when we can do that in a play-based environment. So lots of learning happens through playing when we're at McKinley. We provide direct services at McKinley and at home for our birth to 3 students. Sometimes our staff will actually go to their home and provide those services just as a benefit to the families to help with that. Students that attend our these programs, they do our developmental screenings, and those happen throughout the year. And oftentimes you may be recommended by a doctor or a daycare provider, but also sometimes parents just maybe have concerns with their child developmentally. So if you call McKinley, we can help get those scheduled. And on the next slide, I have some dates. We have 1 left this school year that takes place at the end of January. But then after that, in March, we will have our preschool screening and kindergarten screening. So we'll work on finding some more kids if that is a need there as well. So what I would like to do now is talk about preschool a little bit. Preschool has been a really fun thing to just build upon this year and last year at the McKinley Early Childhood Center. We have 4 sections of preschool. Our morning sections get to go to breakfast. That's part of their curriculum. Our afternoon sessions get to go to lunch as part of their curriculum. They do that with their peers. And it's amazing how much learning takes place in the McKinley cafeteria. They have district curriculum that they follow. We have certified teachers that those teachers follow the same professional growth rubrics as our other teachers in the Watertown School District. We have quarterly report cards. A lot of that focuses on their social and academic needs on those report cards. A huge benefit to our families is that we offer a midday busing option. So we have students that attend preschool in the morning that will get on a bus at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and they'll get bused to daycares or around town to their families. And then also that bus will pick students up and bring them to our afternoon sessions as well. So that's been a huge benefit to our families. We have a tuition-based program as well as a title-based program, so depending on income needs. And then our classrooms just focus on consistent routines, hands-on learning, and providing a caring environment where students can build some confidence. And the goal is to just help them feel ready for either junior kindergarten or kindergarten, whatever steps is next for them. Our junior kindergarten program is all day. That was new last year with the McKinley Early Childhood Center. We have 2 sections of junior kindergarten. Those students have PE every day. They have music 2 or 3 times a week, along with art and counseling. We go outside to recess a few times each day. Even when it's a little chilly, we get to go out. We bundle up in our snow gear. We have a beautiful new playground over there that our students love. We get lots of fun things happening out there. But junior kindergarten really is a great spot for those students that aren't quite ready for kindergarten, those summer birthdays maybe, or some kids that need to develop their social emotional needs a little bit. Just kind of gives them that extra year before they head into kindergarten. A lot of times too, it might be families that didn't send their child to a daycare or to a preschool, so it just kind of gives them that year to get acquainted with working with other adults besides their parents at home. So we focus on social emotional growth, positive behavior supports, and we offer a safe and predictable place for all of our students. And that brings me to kindergarten. And as I talk about the McKinley Early Childhood Center around town, a lot of times people just think we have kindergarten over there. So it's always fun to share our other things that are happening at McKinley. But we have 9 sections of kindergarten. Those students have PE every day, music a couple times a week, art and counseling. Again, they're out to recess a few times throughout the day. We really try and build a cross-classroom collaboration. That's kind of a tongue twister for me. But our staff have times in their schedule that they have aligned planning time, and they get together and just build their lesson plans to help fill the needs for their students in front of them and come up with creative ways to just enhance their learning. We use research-based practices for both social and emotional academics. We have, again, direct busing, and I can't thank you for the work that the board and everyone has done with the busing, but they can go directly to EduCare after school. That busing from McKinley will also get them to all of our elementary schools at the end of the day, and then they'll also take students out to Little Village Daycare too, which has been a huge asset for families. And then we have our kindergarten screening, which I feel like is coming up way sooner than what it should be, but March 16th, and we'll have preschool screening then too, so that information will be coming out in different forms to the public. The next thing I have for you is some kind of fun snapshots of our academics. I talk a lot about our play-based learning that takes place at McKinley, and sometimes that's hard for people to know what's going on, but when you look at these photos, it looks like it's just kids playing, but the first one is of a young student doing a social studies lesson. They were learning about sorting. She has some animals in front of her and just categorizing those animals. The next one was a science lesson, and the teachers crouched down in the middle there, but they had some stuffing from pillows, and they were talking about snow and how it forms together. We have math and writing. Math oftentimes is a whole group activity, and then they break into little centers, and later I'll have some other photos I can show you of them doing math in different ways. Writing is one of my favorite things to take place at McKinley, because when you look at that little boy there, he is painting. It doesn't quite look like writing, but it is the fine motor skills that we're building. So that's a preschool class. They're cutting, they're painting, they're writing, doing all sorts of fun activities to build those fine motor skills. Reading, she is in the reading corner, and then our dramatic play, or purposeful play as we often call it at McKinley, is the time that's built into our schedules every day. It's about a half hour every day for all of our classes. Preschool probably has some more of that built in, but it really is a chance for students to work on building their imagination and that creative play. And this one was a pumpkin patch station, and they had a cash register that they were purchasing pumpkins and selling pumpkins, and really they kind of tie it to themes throughout the world. So just to kind of help mimic those real world life experiences and to help students feel prepared for when they encounter them. But a lot of learning happens in that play-based area. Something else I would like to share just a little bit about is something that we've been working really hard on this year at McKinley, but we are trying to build some collective experiences for all of our students at McKinley school-wide. And what this is we are inviting some different community members to come into the school and just work with our students and share different things about our community. So the 2 photos I have for you here, first one is of the Watertown Police Department. They came in and did some Halloween safety and just talked about how to be safe during that time. But really the goal of that was just to help students feel comfortable around police officers. The other one was the fire department came and they had their fire trucks. And again, it was just more about safety for our students, and that can be a scary experience if you see someone in all of this gear that's trying to help you if you were encountered with bad luck with a fire. But really just to help just build the awareness of the community that we have and the supports that we have to help our students. But these collective experiences have been planned by our teachers as just a way to involve our community, to expose students to new experiences, and to help build those relationships amongst students and staff. Before we have our Christmas break, we're going to do a holiday tradition experience. All of our students are gonna frost cookies, and we're gonna sing some Christmas songs and just kind of help build the traditions of what a holiday can be like. And then we have some Christmas around the world activities too happening, just to help continue to build what our world is like. The next thing I have for you is going to be a short video. This is just really kind of fun. I went around and just asked kids what they love about school, and it's kind of a day in the life of a McKinley Early Childhood Center student. And I can't take all the credit for this. I have big ideas, but I'm not great with technology, so Mr. Cruz helped with that part. I think it should start now.
Muted on the corner.
Oh. I think it starts like here. There you go.
What is your favorite part about school?
That's not nearly as exciting as what it's supposed to be.
What do you like to? What do you enjoy? That is so fun. Thank you.
It's keeping with the big.
It's playing on that one.
That's as long as the TV's getting.
Yeah, but the video's there, it's not going there.
I know the video's not going.
The internet is going down.
What is your favorite part about school? You like playtime? What is your favorite part about school? Gym. You like gym? What do you do in gym? Do you run fast in gym? Yeah, that is so fun. Thank you.
Well, I can surely send this out to you. We're a little bit farther along. Really what it is, it's just went around and I asked students what they love about school, and it's so fun to hear their different stories and what they love. Some students love lunch, some students love to play outside. One of my favorites was one of the students says she loves to make new friends, and she is just the most bubbly student you will ever meet, so that's great for her. So I will share that with you. I will send it out in an email, but I'm next.
Keep waving.
Yeah, it's great.
Just keep it
There's nothing wrong with that. We're happy at McKinley. I think if you want to skip to the next one. The last thing I have for you is just some statements from staff about what they have found great about the McKinley Early Childhood Center. So you're welcome to read through those, but McKinley's a great spot to be. We're full of smiles. Every once in a while we might have a few tears, but they go away quick when we're working with little kiddos. So I've enjoyed my time there so far, and I'm excited to keep learning and working with students at that age. Any questions at all for me?
No questions, just a comment. Thank you for presenting tonight, but mine's completely anecdotal from having a kiddo there
Yeah.
last year who had like a rough start at the beginning of the year, and he ended up just absolutely loving it. But he, till this day, we will walk around like at a basketball game or a
Yeah.
football game, something, he'll be like, hey so-and-so, hey so-and-so, and he's constant, and every time I'm like, where do you know them from? You know, just out of curiosity. He's like, I went to school at McKinley with them. Like every
So
kid he has
cool.
met. And I love seeing that because it's a bunch of kids that actually don't go to school. A lot of them are not in his class now.
Yeah.
It's kids he's met last year, and that to me is just a testament of kind of the process, trusting the process that it works. He knows kids from all across the community now, which I just love that.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And when we think of what our sports are at such a young age
Yeah.
too, it is, you go by age, not by where you're at in this town. So it's so nice when you have a familiar face from being at the building with them. So that's a great perk too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you.
Whoa.
And-
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
got-
Sorry.
You can't get away like that.
3 second wait time.
3 seconds. Lesson learned.
Could you send me a sample schedule like of kindergarten? I know it varies from teacher to teacher because they
Sure.
have to juggle art, music, etc. But just a sample schedule, social studies, math,
Sure.
so on, for
Yeah.
the day.
Yep.
I appreciate that. So birth to 3-year-old services. What's the youngest child that's over there now?
Young. So birth to 3 typically happens within their homes. So when they're that little, we'll travel there. But we do have some that come in and utilize services within our building too. But we definitely have 2-year-olds in the building throughout the day.
Okay. You're working with some wonderful kids, and what an asset to the community.
Yeah, it's been great. It's fun to just see all of it get into play and working within the community and other community members and just families coming in and having a spot where they can feel safe with their kids. So
And thank you to you for
Yeah.
Oh.
spearheading that.
Well, it turned into a really good kind of beacon of hope for, when we had to kind of go through a rough situation to get there, but it's really been a blessing, I think.
yeah.
One question I had, if you allow me to ask a
Yeah.
question there, sir. With the busing,
Yes.
have you noticed any, obviously you weren't here last year, but probably have had some conversations, or maybe Dr. Knopf could weigh into, but have we gotten people to note, to take advantage of it? Say, that was one of the things we promoted was
Yeah.
you could drop off if, at Lincoln, Jefferson, or Millette if you had children in both.
I do think people utilize that service, and I would say too, it's been a great asset for staff too. I mean, if you have staff working at those other buildings, it's really nice to bring your kid with you and get them on the bus so you don't have to worry about that. So that's been great. Compared to last year, I don't know how that went, but we definitely have people utilizing it this year.
I would say the more we can promote that, the better, because
Yeah.
there's still people, I think, no matter the number of reminders or
Yeah.
communication you send out, they're still going to miss it. But even just in conversation with people that have been like, oh, I didn't even know that was an option. It's like, yep, just sign them up, and it'll help you out in your morning and after school.
Most definitely.
So, yeah.
It's still hard. I know there are some people who truly want the experience of the drop off
Yep.
and doing that, and we don't want to take that away. But I would note too, for people who are wondering about how to make it work, the other elementaries are available by 7:30. So if you're willing to start your schedule a little bit earlier, you could still make the drop off and get everybody to school on time.
And I know too, leaving your child to get on the bus on their own can maybe seem scary. And what I think people sometimes don't always realize is we have staff that are there. We have staff outside buildings and at buildings by that 7:30 time. So it's staff, there's people there. Students, when they're getting on the bus from McKinley, there's staff that ride the bus with them. We really just try and do our best to help keep everyone safe and feeling comfortable as they're doing those transitions. So that's an asset too for us.
And it's a direct shuttle. They don't go
Yes.
to the bus,
Yep.
what do we call it? The intermediate
Intermediate
school.
school.
They don't
Yeah.
have to transfer ever.
Correct.
So.
Yep, if they're just going to another elementary school, correct. And I would say if they are doing the bus transfer and getting to the intermediate school, there is staff everywhere. And I think it's just a lot of pre-teaching, sharing with our students that find an adult. A lot of times my language is look for someone tall. They'll help you. Yeah.
I love that. I did think of one thing. When you mentioned kindergarten screening, I feel like if I remember in conversations last year, they changed the screening last year and
Yep.
shifted it to like a half-day experience, kind of. Is that
Yeah.
how it was? Is
Yep.
that what you guys are going to do, or are you changing it again this year?
Nope, that's kind of
Okay.
what we're planning on. We had really good feedback from our families and from staff that did that. So kids went for about a half day. They got to tour the school and kind of have a little mini day of school, which was just kind of a fun experience for them and helped build the excitement to the next school year. So, yeah.
Great.
Good. Well, thank you. And,
Thank you.
and Shannon, thank you for what you started last year, and Emily for what you're continuing to build
Yeah.
on. And the staff there, hats off to working hard to make this work very well.
They are some of the best. So yes, thank you.
If you need a pick-me-up, that's the spot to
It
go.
most
Absolutely.
definitely is.
Or some honesty.
True. Yeah, or if you think you're having a bad hair day and you need it confirmed, ask a kindergartner.
Okay, that takes us to 5.4, first reading of policies.
Yes, I have 5 for you tonight for your consideration as first readings. And again, these would still need to go for a second reading. Under facilities planning, there is a short paragraph at the end there added just to shore up that one. Under site acquisition, this is just a review. Under the memorials policy, an adjustment from 3 to 6 months, just to allow a little bit of time if there is, a death that there's a wish to have some memorial requests, just to provide a little distance in between that and make good decisions on that for the district. Under GAA, the evaluation policy and procedures, you can see in red the one that pertains to K-12 refers to certified personnel, just noting that that's in the master contract. And then the rest are mainly from Lake Area Tech, and that has to do with the change in law there that where Lake Area Tech instructors used to be covered under the K-12 master contract, and they no longer are. So you see a lot of changes with regards to Lake Area Tech. But that just matches up with what current practice is. And then GAEB, the grievance procedure for non-certified, again, that is a review.
Okay, so that takes us to 6.1. Action items. Approval of the bills. Entertain a motion to approve the bills.
I move we approve the bills.
Okay, motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Laura. Questions or comments? All in
Uh,
favors?
Jim's worm farm.
Okay.
Must be for biology.
I'm assuming that's science, yeah. That one slipped by me.
We need more worms, so
Yeah.
I'm glad we're paying that bill.
We don't want to open a can of worms, but I don't know how they come.
$80.
All in favor of approving the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We're at 6.2 personnel.
One retirement for you this evening, Jolene Sutton. Thank you to Jolene for her many years of service to the Watertown School District, and would recommend your approval.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve this retirement.
Move that we approve the retirement for Jolene Sutton.
Okay, motion by Rossman,
Second.
second by Rammel. Questions, comments?
Go ahead.
I just saw a really nice tribute from one of her children over the weekend,
Oh,
and
good.
it looked like they had a walkout for her Friday after
Yep.
school with all the other
Yep, they had a
staff.
good
It
day
looked
on
cold
Friday.
but lovely. So yeah. Thank
One
you.
note, just for the board, when we have a mid-year retirement like this, they are still honored at the spring retirement celebration that we do with the district, so.
Well, I would like to say thank you for 25 years of wonderful service, being just such a friendly, person and helpful person at a key spot, key position.
She is Lincoln through and through,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
really appreciate her service.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 6.2.2, resignations.
We have the two listed there as well as one on the green sheet for you. We recommend your approval of both resignations.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve these resignations.
I move to approve the resignations as listed.
Okay.
Second?
Motion by Rammel, second by Rossman. Questions, comments?
Note with those extra duties, they're pending suitable replacement.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.2.3, contract recommendations and addendums.
A couple of contract changes here. We did hire another family support specialist with additional grant dollars that we received from the state. This is part of our attendance grant that we're working with for addressing chronic absenteeism, as well as some dual credit stipends and a new paraprofessional. So recommend your approval of those.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the contracts and addendums.
Move that we approve the contract recommendations and addendums as listed.
Motion by Rossman,
Second.
second by Rammel. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. 6.2.4.
One termination for your approval.
Okay, motion to approve this.
I move to approve the termination.
Okay, motion
Second.
by Rammel, second by Rossman. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. 6.2.5.
Last one is an authority to hire for a one-to-one para for a student, and would recommend your approval of this.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve this authority to hire.
I move that we approve the authority to hire for the one-to-one para.
Motion by Rossman,
Second.
second by Rammel. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.3, property. We have two items. 6.31, the supplemental budget.
Yes, the supplemental budget resolution outlines modifications to address amended costs using new revenues and cash reserves. Within the general fund, the district has accepted a $64,945 supplement for the attendance grant, with primarily support using for salary and benefits, alongside $3,000 for purchase services related to the program. In the special education fund, $50,365 will be used for available cash on hand to support special education staffing, specifically covering the salaries and benefits for a para at McKinley and Jefferson. For Lake Area Technical College, the budget includes revenue sources of $178,350 in state aid, $567,000 from state equipment grants, $36,000 via Perkins grants, and a $229,000 contribution for a lab grant, supported by $457,000 in cash on hand. These additions are partially balanced by a $400,000 reduction in the reserve for future years from contributions from the foundation to span over the upcoming fiscal years. The expenditures for LATC include $526,000 for equipment funded by state grants, $245,000 for renovations to the student center, and a $229,000 expenditure for the CHS Community Lab Grant. Further allocations support Perkins-related contracted services and supplies, a manufacturing subgrant, and specialized programmatic needs for surgical technology staffing and supplies. LATC bookstore services also had $28,000 in increase from sales and corresponding expenditures for resale. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the supplemental budget for 2025-26.
I move we approve the budget as explained and detailed for 25-26 supplemental.
Motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lohr. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.3.2.
Yes, this is the combined election agreement with the county, and it is recommended to establish this combined election agreement. This would be for our June 2nd, 2026 election. And this follows state law in which we are able to combine with the county. And just to note that the county did approve this within their board meetings on December 2nd.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve this combining election agreement.
I move we combine the election agreement.
Okay,
as
motion
presented.
by Lohr,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments? Now, if I understand correctly, this is, I mean, I think it's a good thing, but it's also, we're pushed into it by the legislation, state
Yep.
legislation, aren't we?
So legislatively, it changed that we would have to combine or have it on the same day as the primary election. So we will combine with Cottington County. If you are a voter in Hamlin, Dual counties, you would vote on your primary ballot, but you would have to come to Watertown and vote within the, at like the Cottington County Extension Building for that portion of the school board.
Okay. So it may be a little confusing when June 2nd rolls around. For those of us who live in Cottington County, it will not be.
Yep, so you would go and you would vote for the primary election, and then school board would be on that same ballot.
And I think the intent is to increase turnout by combining elections, but also to drive a little more efficiency.
Yep.
It does do that, however, the downside is that it takes issues that would just apply to the school district and kind of buries them under everything else.
We no
So-
longer have a standalone school election.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, it has to be on the same day of those main elections.
Okay. So where it will get confusing, if I understand this correctly, is for our residents who are in the Watertown School District but not in Cottington County.
Right.
They will have to travel to
Yep.
Watertown to Cottington County to vote.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
In which, I mean, even in the past when we combined with the city, on city election, it was
Yep.
the same thing. You had to travel here
Yeah.
because the voting location was here at the arena. The difference is you weren't voting for something else on that same day. But there always is that absentee ballot that's available 45 days before the election, so you'd have options in terms of when you would like to vote.
And the absentee ballots will be at the courthouse because it
Correct.
being conducted by the county. In the past, you could vote here at the
Yep.
business office,
Yep.
absentee.
Yep.
Okay, so, but this is the way it's gonna be, so,
Yep, and we'll have different marketing things like on our district Facebook page
Okay.
that will explain kind of how that voting would happen when it gets a little bit closer.
okay, good. Well, we've had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That takes us to 6.4, the calendar for
Yes.
26-27.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to Jean for serving on the calendar committee and representing the board. We had a couple of different meetings with some staff meetings in between to talk about the calendar for 26-27. Big change to the 26-27 calendar would be starting on a Tuesday rather than a Thursday. So typically when we've rolled over calendars, we've followed where we started the Thursday a week out from Labor Day, so that we would have essentially 7 days of school prior to Labor Day. This year we did bump it 2 days, so a calendar starting on August 25th for the first day of school, that would give us actually 9 days before school starts. September, October, and November look very similar, where we would we had our second shot at having the Veterans Day program in-house, and the community program here at the high school. That went really well. We're gonna do that again next year as Veterans Day falls on a Wednesday. You've got Christmas break there.
It's gonna snow that day.
Yep, yep.
Great.
I'm pretty sure, but Mr. Boyens has already been promoting the fact that even if it looks like this, we're having Watoma relays, so he's been warning the Watoma Club and all the workers that we're having it. And then a Wednesday dismissal, May 26th for the end of school year. That gives us, we still would have, so then graduation would be that Sunday of Memorial Weekend there, May 30th. This calendar does have 2 built-in snow days again because of our pre-service schedule, and also would have 2 more days, the 27th and 28th of May, possible to make up snow days before we have to look at Memorial Day. There was a sense of urgency with the calendar committee this year because Memorial Day is so late, the 31st, that any day after Memorial Day would be into June. So there is a little bit of a mental distinction there that people make when we get to June, even though it's after Memorial Day. So we present this for your consideration.
Okay, any questions? Just as an aside, the Veterans Day program, hats off, our students were so well behaved. It was really fun to be part of that and to see so many there. We have to approve this, I suppose, don't we?
You can or you don't have to.
Well, I think we'll
at
just
some
skip
point
it.
it'd be nice to have a calendar draft for next year.
Okay. Well, we'll do the motion and approve this calendar.
I move
You're
that.
asking for the.
I
move
can't
that we
make it,
approve
but
it.
I would
Okay,
if I
I'm
could,
asking
buddy.
Looks
what I'm
good.
supposed to do
I
here.
move we
I move
approve the calendar
Okay.
for 25-26.
Motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lore.
Or
Any questions, comments?
26-27, correction, 26-27.
Yes, 26-27. All in favor of the proposed calendar, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are now at the second reading, which we get to vote on, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Okay, no changes to our second readings from last month, so recommending those for your approval.
Okay, well, let's do 6.5.1 EEAEC, Student Conduct on Buses. Motion to approve this policy.
I move we approve student conduct on school buses, EEAEC.
Motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lore. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.5.2 EEAF, School Activity Bus Scheduling. Entertain a motion to approve this.
Move we approve EEAF as it reads.
Okay, motion by Lore,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.5.3 EEAFA, Extracurricular Activity Buses, Special Events Transportation. Entertain a motion to approve this.
I move we approve extracurricular activity bus and field trips, EEAFA.
Okay, motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lore. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 6.5.4 EEB, Non-School Group Transportation. Entertain a motion to approve this policy.
I'll make a motion to approve EEB.
Motion by Lore,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.5.5 EF, Food Management. Entertain a motion to approve this policy.
I move we approve food service management, policy EF.
Okay, motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lore. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6.5.6 EIC, Group Health and Dental Insurance Coverage. Entertain a motion to approve this policy.
I move that we approve EIC.
Motion by Lore,
Second.
second by Moulton. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 6.6 Student Enrollment Requests.
We have one open enrollment for your consideration, recommending approval.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve this open enrollment.
Move that we approve the open enrollment as listed.
Motion by Rossman,
Second.
second by Rammel. Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then no 132810s.
Okay, so that takes us to 7.1 Administrative Reports.
Yes, you all right if I start with a couple of updates and then talk legislation?
Yep.
Legislation. Okay. Great work. We hosted the state oral interp on Friday and Saturday this past weekend. We made it through the weather. I do think there were some folks who ended up staying Saturday night rather than venture back out afterwards. But thanks to all the people who helped with that, and we'll have some of our own students will be coming through here soon for the student staff recognition, because we did have some good performances from the Watertown crew. I might add, I got to hand out awards at that, and I had my own fan club from our Watertown kids, so a big shout out and thank you to them. I'm sure they're watching tonight. Band concerts, music concerts going on. If you're coming up to the big ones up here, high school band is tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And then high school orchestra and choir is December 18th at 7 o'clock. And we've got all kinds of them going on at buildings as well right now. And then we dismiss for Christmas break on December 23rd. So we'll be off from the 24th through January 5th for break. Legislatively, a couple of things. Last week was the governor's budget address, and then we met as a state superintendent's group the day after that. The governor has recommended 0% for schools, a 0% increase. Trying to, the big thing coming out of that, we'll be working with legislators hopefully to see if we can scratch out some money for education. A lot of times they refer to it out in Pierre as the big three, which is the Medicaid, state employees, and K-12 schools. The big thing I would point out, at least to the board and the public, I will probably make that case to the legislature as well, but Medicaid does have some escalator pieces to it, so there are mandatory increases, and state employees actually are written into the budget for a health insurance increase. That is not the same with K-12 schools, because what happens when there's a percentage increase on K-12 schools is that just increases the per student, of which then the local school districts have to figure out how to allot that money, some of which would be for salary, some of which would have to be for benefits. There is not a separate percentage for that. So when you say 0 for the big three, 0 doesn't mean 0 to all of the big three. 0 means 0 for K-12, but there are some other bumps in there. Now that doesn't happen every year, but those were in this year's budget. So that's a big one. There was a property tax relief task force that met. I think we're anticipating a number of bills to come to address property tax reduction. I know the governor alluded to one in his budget address, but then mentioned that that would be coming in the State of the State address, so we'll have to stay tuned for that. But there were a number of recommendations given out of the property tax force. I would say the majority of those would probably not see much support from the public schools in South Dakota. And then another big one that it sounds like is probably coming again is some sort of bill on cell phones. I would remind the board and the public, in Watertown at the K-8 level, cell phones are not allowed in the classroom, are kept in either a locker or backpack, so they are not available during the day. At the high school, students can possess them when they walk into the buildings, but then when they enter a classroom, we have caddies where they place them in there. So from impacting the classroom, we have essentially have addressed that, and a big fear we would have with, say, like a statewide bill on that would be the cost associated with some things, like you maybe have seen publicized, where you can buy these pouches that are magnetized. Students have to put them in when they enter the building, and then you release the magnet at the end of the day.
Faraday bags, I think.
What's that?
Faraday bags.
Yeah, that's one brand I know.
Yeah.
The cost associated it. Most of the trials in South Dakota with those have been at more smaller schools, where the ease of purchasing the number of bags that you'd have to get, and then also if you can think of 1,200 students leaving at the end of the day, needing a magnet. And some of the early issues with that are, you know, I keep my real phone somewhere, put a dummy phone in, buy the magnet yourself, and really, I mean, with anything, there's ingenuity on how you can get around it. We think, anyway, what we have been addressing addresses the main concern with cell phone bans, which is productivity and attention in the classrooms. I kudos to our principals for enforcing what we do and ensuring that our staff follow those, and then the students as well, so that we can make learning the main thing in the classroom. So, but we'll see what comes. But that's one thing that's been talked about, is either a statewide policy or at the very least a bill stating that a local school board must institute a policy on cell phones, and we think we have addressed it with what we're doing with our current practice. So that's what I have.
Okay. You know, as a former history teacher, it's interesting. There's a sector of society that says all you have to do is pass a law and the problem goes away. That was in essence the problem with Prohibition. We made alcohol illegal, and then people thought, well, people won't drink anymore. You know, let's make cell phones illegal, and then they just won't bring them to school. Well, no. The enforcement is a real bugaboo. So hats off for having a policy and enforcing it. Questions for the superintendent? 7.3, board reports. Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Motion by Moulton,
Second.
second by Lohr. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned at 6:37.
Should be services.